I actually wrote last summer. I had a birch tree outside the window, and the sapsucker began attacking it. And you know, sapsuckers will actually kill your birch trees. They just become addicted to that sap, and they create actually a whole community of insects and creatures. Once they puncture the tree, and the tree begins to bleed, suddenly there are bumblebees, honeybees, wasps, ants. The whole tree is suddenly full of insects. And slowly the tree bleeds to death. So I was trying to figure out how to wrap it up and protect it from this yellow-bellied sapsucker. And as I was doing this, I suddenly thought of Jonah. You know, there's this story in Jonah where after his mission, after being swallowed by the whale and warning Nineveh that it's about to be destroyed, the world is, you know, will end, essentially was his message, if you don't repent. Same signs you see in New York City. And then, of course, God saves Nineveh, and then Jonah is left alone at that point and is so angry, he says, angry enough to die because there was nothing in it for him, really. He sits down, and this gourd tree grows up beside him and shades him from the intense sun, and he's relieved momentarily, but then the gourd tree dies, just like the birch, I was thinking. And so that's the reference here. Also, a saw, you know, is an old saying. There's a reference to the word saw, which is simply, the saw here means the world will end if you don't repent. That's the saying I'm referring to. And the outsourced ladder, at the very end, the idea that everything is pretty much outsourced today in our industry. Okay, that's enough. At the Sap Wells. The yellow-bellied sapsucker clung to the birch outside my window and smelled the sap inside the phloem and started in with sudden taps to make rows of wells around the trunk that ran like liquor down the bark. Oh, taste and see. Oh, taste and taste, he called to the bees and hummingbirds, who swiftly came to gulp from the holes. So much ellipsis halfway up, so much knocking on the bloody door. I thought of the gourd that shaded Jonah in the noonday sun, then suddenly withered, inciting his rage outside of Nineveh. I thought of the darkness inside the whale that was also God in his favorite garb in the nature of mercy. How unnatural it is in the glory of nature. I wondered where his screed had gone, the prose or poem beyond his saw. Wondered next if every city has a similar tale that disappears, if warning alone suffices without the script, so every witness has to guess at what Jonah said that turned their minds, then find a new, unwilling voice that isn't his and his. I heard the silence then between his knocks outside the window and grieved the little clowns falling off. I thought of whales off both the coasts of America, then dressed the birch in vinyl wrap, prayed for deliverance on my outsourced ladder. Thank you.